Matt, I think it's time that we shake things up here on the Buddy Shotz podcast. Let's get a third host.
So what'd you have in mind?
They say the one creature smarter than man is Dolphin.
Who says?
Matt, allow myself to introduce you to our newest podcast host, baby, Buddy the Dolphin. Yeah!
What the hell?
Everyone loves the king of the sea, ever so kind and gentle is he. Tricks he will do when bodies appear, and how I laugh when he's near. They call him Buddy, Buddy, he's so exciting. No one you see is smarter than he. And we know Buddy lives in a world full of wonder, podcasting there under the sea.
Alright, you ready to start Buddy Shots? Let's see if Buddy is as good as podcasting as you say he is. Let's do this!
So, Buddy, do you want to introduce the episode?
Buddy play?
Okay.
Yeah. So what'd you think of SeaQuest, Buddy?
Buddy play here?
What? Buddy, any hot takes or wet takes this week?
Smooth, man.
He means the podcasting mic.
I know what he means!
Oh.
So, Buddy, what do you think of Mike Nichols' uneven filmography?
Buddy play?
Whoa!
I was gonna go, but that's like an
Turns to
ape
a
noise,
horse?
not a dolphin.
Maybe you're a seahorse. You got a little tail. I'm like, seahorse.
Dolphin week! The week everyone's been waiting all year for.
Was this another experiment?
Yeah, it was.
Nice. It's 192 for Buddy Shotz Dolphin Week.
Turned into somehow a triple
it?
feature.
Yeah. Dolphin, Day of the Dolphin, SeaQuest, and Flipper.
Sorry for making you watch all this shit. I had fun with it.
I don't think I've ever had a week where I've had 2 movies and a weird watch, so...
A full length.
Yeah.
That was intense.
So, you're gonna be, I'm sure that'll happen at some point in your future then.
Paybacks.
Yeah. Yeah. A bitch.
Well, I wanted to start off
okay.
Dolphin Week with a little story that
yeah?
is related to Dolphin Week, if that's okay.
Did you get some tail? What the? You're like, yeah, right now.
So when we were growing up, there was this man who lived in our town. And he was like the pride of the town. He was like the favorite son of our town.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone had high hopes for him to like go on and do great things, become like a scientist or
Yeah.
a doctor or maybe even president of the United States. He was like the smartest and most charitable person in town, basically. And one day he disappeared, and no one knew where he went. Do you remember this?
It seems familiar.
And everyone was shocked because, like, you know, they expected him to, you know, make a big announcement, maybe run for mayor or something like that. But no, it just kind of just disappeared. And I looked in the newspaper over the years to see, like, you know, did he cure some disease or, you know, was he elected governor somewhere? No, nothing. So one year, excuse me, something in my throat.
You're good.
One year my family went to SeaWorld.
Oh, okay.
And when we got there, I was like, I want to see where they feed all the creatures. So they took me back. Why are you laughing? So they took me back to like this little pond. And I saw this in the distance. I saw this guy feeding this little baby dolphin.
Mm-hmm.
And it was him. I recognized him right away. So I walked up to him and I said, hey, it's you. Like, I can't believe this is where you ended up. You know, everyone thought you would, you know, do great things and become a great man.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I find you, feeding like a baby dolphin? I was like, I'm ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of what you've become. And you know what he told me?
What?
He said, I don't know, I feel like I'm serving a youthful porpoise. A new low point for Buddy Shotz.
You've set the bar. In what direction? I can't say.
That was a Norm Macdonald joke.
The
I stole that from
creatures?
him. Norm did it well
I should have known. I mean, I knew something was
You
up.
knew instantly.
Well, I was like, did you see me look at the camera? I was like, what?
Within the first
That might have
3
worked a
words.
little better if me and you didn't grow up in the same fucking town our whole lives. I was like... Also, I like how you were like, I thought he was going to run for president. And then I looked later and, I thought he was going to run for mayor. And it's like, wait, so he was going to run for president and then he didn't even run for mayor? That's good stuff,
If you
man.
search for Norm Macdonald dolphin joke,
That's
he told that on
hilarious.
Conan, and they were like ready to murder him.
Yeah.
But he went on way longer.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
It's good.
Dolphin week.
Yes.
Let's do this.
So, Jesus Christ. The poll this week, I didn't put out a thing for Flipper because that was kind of a last second
Bonus.
edition.
Yeah.
It's a bonus. YouTube, no one had seen SeaQuest or Day of the Dolphin, but on Instagram, my cousin Robbie was like, yeah, I'll fucking watch SeaQuest.
Dude, nice.
So he's kind of big into like sci-fi. I think he was one of the other people that had seen like remember that one I picked where the guy got the thing in his hand.
Yeah.
He was like or whatever. It was like, and then for Day of the Dolphin, we had like 33% yes and like 67% no.
Wow.
So shocking,
That is surprising.
but yeah. So we've got SeaQuest, Day of the Dolphin, and the bonus Flipper that we're about to dive into.
Let's do this.
Speak of, you go ahead and
Make sure our
us-
blowholes are cleared.
I'm like, whoa. Yeah, what do you want to do here?
Let's do SeaQuest first.
Okay. The weird watch for the week.
Yeah.
Um,
Because we've definitely talked about it like multiple times over the years.
yeah, this is the
We both
first
remember
time.
when it came out.
Yeah.
Did you watch it back when it came out?
I think I tried to, and then I was like, because I didn't even make it past that first little bit where it's like some random guy is trying to like run away from those like pirates or whatever, and I was just like, what is this? But I gave it a shot this time, for sure.
Yeah. I was super excited back in 1993 when this came out because I was like, Star Trek, your day is over. SeaQuest is where it's at from now. And I think we watched the first episode and we were like, that was pretty boring. And never watched it again.
It's got like the music from Star Trek for sure.
Yeah.
Down pat.
Yeah.
But now that we've talked about back in the day, I guess let's go ahead and talk about since we've rewatched it here.
Yeah.
Have you watched it again since then, or no?
No.
You just kind of bought it and then you were like, well,
Yeah, I've been
I'm ready
biding
to
my
go
time,
until
waiting for the right moment.
Nice.
And I thought it was pretty good. I'm definitely interested to watch a few more episodes. I hope it gets better. I have a feeling it will because it went on 3 seasons, so it couldn't have been that bad.
I think Roy Schneider only stayed for 2 and then he left.
Oh, really?
And it was 1 season without him.
Jonathan Brandis wasn't in it nearly as much as I remembered. Like, my memory is that he was the star of the show. And maybe he becomes that over time, but he wasn't in the...
Who did he play in this?
The kid who had the technology to make the
Oh,
dolphin
yeah.
talk.
Yeah, I don't really remember him at all from, like, when I originally watched it, but like I said, I've tried watching this a couple times, and each time I get through it more. And this time I got through it.
So what did you think?
Yeah, I remember Roy Schneider kind of being, like, the dude, but, like, you know, when I finally watched a little bit more of it, I thought it was okay. I couldn't find, like, there was, apparently this is a 2-parter, and I couldn't find the second part, so I just watched the first part. I was like, okay. Because the next episode I had was, like, a completely unrelated episode.
Oh.
I was like, okay. Because this was originally released as, like, a movie, essentially. Because it's a 2-parter pilot to set everything up, and Roy Schneider is being coaxed out of retirement Alice Stargate style Kurt Russell,
Yeah.
except for his fucking son didn't blow his head off.
Yeah. Or did he?
Yeah.
His son was killed, though.
Yeah, there is some stuff about his wife and his son not being around. They don't really say too much in this first episode, but I have suspicions that it will be filled out in more of the series. It's kind of weird seeing Roy Schneider in a TV show because usually he's known as like Jaws and big movie stuff. So
Yep.
it was interesting, but I mean, I guess he kind of did it before it was cool.
Definitely. I remember that was like a big thing at the time. Like, Roy Schneider's
he's
moving to
doing
TV. What?
Yeah.
Oh.
And this is 4x3 format.
Mm-hmm.
All the rage back then.
I was pretty impressed by like the sets. Like they definitely invested some dollars into this.
It definitely has its own look for sure.
Mm-hmm. I like that stuff.
They have like a maglev, like elevator that goes side. There's no like warping and shit. There are like 40 fucking title cards in this. This like beats the pants off of X-Files.
Yeah. There's a lot of setup.
Near future, North Atlantic Ocean. Ocean floor, mining company. It's like, I stopped writing them down after a while. I was like, okay. I mean, I wasn't like, I was just kind of like, damn, man, this is like you said, this is like setup galore here. I mean, this is the first episode.
There's a lot to set
assume
up.
that wouldn't be something they do too much more in the future, but who knows?
And he really didn't miss too much in the second half. Like
he just probably assumes command.
He basically assumes command, and they track down his former captain, who's like gone rogue
for whatever reason. Like
Yeah.
she flips out for no reason in that first episode, and I was like, huh.
And they
She's
eventually track her down.
She pulls like a Crimson Tide and tries to fucking blow it up.
She becomes a fascist. She's
Yeah.
like, launch the nukes immediately.
Well, like
Jesus.
she gets, unlike in Crimson Tide when they get the stuff and he finds out that they said to stand down. She said they get the orders to stand down, and she's like gonna fucking do it anyway.
I know. I was like, dude, escalation.
Yeah, she's like, gonna do it anyway.
Did you notice the director of the pilot was Irvin Kershner?
Yeah.
Director of Empire Strikes Back. And Never Say Never Again.
I was like, how the mighty have fallen.
I know.
Not really. I mean,
This was a big show.
yeah.
At least when it came out.
And this was like, everybody got like, holy shit. This is, like you said, it had the feeling that this is going to be
The advertising
Star
was all
Trek,
over the place.
but under space, underwater.
Yeah. Did you notice who the main bad guy is who like sent the lady captain on her quest?
The person that was like,
Like the evil master.
yeah,
guy?
the dad of
Yeah.
like the one guy. Yeah, it was like
Michael Parks, star of Tusk.
Right.
I love that guy.
Loser.
Well, he's dead now. How do you feel?
No comment.
But Roy Scheider
No,
is
he's
alive.
he's a great actor.
I'm a big
I
fan.
really liked him in his little role in what
From
was
Dusk
it?
Till
Yeah,
Dawn?
from Dusk
Yeah,
Till Dawn.
that's
As
amazing.
The cop that got sick
Yep.
and gets fucking blown away.
I've been puking up pigs in a
Yeah, it's like
6:30.
eh.
Did you like the Dolphin Darwin?
I have a confession to make. I don't really like dolphins, to tell you the truth.
I'm like,
They fucking, like, kind of scare me. Cause,
what a revelation on dolphins.
yeah.
I love dolphins, dude. They're cool.
I had a feeling they were, like, one of your favorite animals or something since you picked Dolphin Week or whatever, but it's just...
You don't like watching their aquatic
something about
antics?
their eyes. It's like... Because it's kind of like a monkey. Like, they're so close to humans with, like, intelligence and stuff that it's kind of like... I mean, you hear dolphins kill for fun. Same thing with, like, chimps and shit. It's like... I know that kind of stuff's always fucking freaked me out. But they're shown in a good light in this, at least. I mean, so we'll go on to the other ones eventually and talk about how they're shown. But I don't think there was enough of him in this for me to gauge, his character. Because they put a thing in where he can communicate and talk.
And guess who did the voice?
Frank Welker.
Of course.
Yeah. The man of a million faces.
The other kind of interesting thing about this show is like it's a Day of the Dead situation. It's like military v scientists.
Yeah.
Whoever wins, we lose.
Yeah, exactly like that. Nathan, please! It's like Darwin the Dolphin.
Did you make it to the part where there's a VR?
I watched the whole first episode. I couldn't find the second
Oh,
episode.
that's cool. No
Oh,
worries.
you're checking to see how... Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's a point where they use VR to like pilot one of the probes, And I was like, that's a total 90s thing.
No, I don't think I got to a point where he was on the in the first episode where he's on the bridge and he's like, "Oh, you're using whiskers," and I was like, it's definitely a choice for a name or something. But
that was just a very 90s thing.
It's like very like hacker.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I guess like what was it like? Yeah, they put like a tube through the whole like ship so that like the dolphin can go everywhere, and I was like, what is the fucking point of this except for like
such an investment to allow one dolphin to swim.
Yeah, such an investment and waste of money for future episodes where they get locked out and the dolphin has to save them. Like it's totally,
or they can talk to him in different multiple rooms.
It's like data. It's like okay, like we know what's going to happen here. I don't think a talking dolphin is stupid. I just thought it was kind of like, I mean, it was so I don't know, it's just kind of a weird, like it was Roy Schneider's, like his whole thing is Darwin is his dolphin, and like they pretty much brought him on board.
Dolphin nap him.
Yeah, and like he's talking about how like, you know, oh, this was in your plans and we added this because it was part of your plans. So it's like kind of interesting that like the captain is a scientist and he's like designed all this shit, so they've implemented all this crap, and it's pretty cool. That's a cool idea. It kind of reminds me of like with Star Trek, how like, you know, Captain Archer is like more of kind of just like a chill dude, and like, you know, stuff like that, where like a lot of the best captains are free thinkers and stuff like that. So I always thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I guess I would be interested to see where it goes as well. It's just kind of like one of those things where like I think back in the day, and I could be, you know, wrong, but when I was younger and I watched it and tried watching it, I was just like thinking like, how far can this go? Because like there's only so many things you can do in the ocean, whereas like space, it's like unlimited. You can just do whatever you want.
That's why I'm hoping that they go more fantastical with it.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I know nothing about.
Yeah, I was wondering if maybe they go like Stargate style or something, and they like find something under the ocean that like lets them go to like other, you know, areas or planets with oceans or something. I don't know. Like you got to like do something eventually, because you know, like you said, like, you know,
there was a Super Nintendo game of SeaQuest that I watched some footage of. That looked pretty boring. It's basically, you have a world map and you drive the SeaQuest around, and then you do missions where you have to go pick things up. And you can be the dolphin or like a submarine or those. Yeah. It looked very boring. But I miss when every big show and movie had a video game.
Yeah, they used to have.
That sucked.
Yeah. One thing that I was a bit interested. Well, I guess I wasn't interested. I was like, "Whoa, this is fuck." I was a bit kind of like, "Holy shit!" Is like, did you see who like one of the ladies was on this?
Lady.
Yeah. She was like from one of my favorite episodes on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Fucking Moriarty's girlfriend.
Oh, dude, nice.
Yeah, she plays like Stephanie Beachman, Dr. Kristen Westphalen or whatever. She plays Countess Bartholomew, Moriarty's girlfriend.
Nice. Did not know that.
Yeah. I was like, because I was like watching her, I was like, dude, she looks so familiar. Who is this? And then I like looked it up, and I was like, what?
You see your boy Ted Raimi in there?
What'd you think about what's with the holographic fucking? They got like a holographic old dude in water.
I'm sure at the time, like when they made that effect, they were like, "This is gonna be the coolest thing anyone's ever seen."
Well, I thought it was kind of interesting that they ended up being like, "Hey, we're gonna add in a hologram character." It's like, well, they straight up were like Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
So, which is fine. It was just, you know, like I said, the only thing, trouble is brewing, to be continued. I was like, okay.
And there was trouble. Because that was my last note. Like they started attacking like this underwater colony to like draw the SeaQuest out, and they were like committing war crimes and atrocities. I was like, I didn't think that this would be in this fun sea show, but Jesus.
Yeah, I think you know this is like a movie. You have to watch both of them together, because the first couple minutes of this is like a totally unrelated mining bullshit, and I'm like, what does this have to do with the fucking rest of the movie? And it's like sets up for underwater, there's all these regulations and different companies like mining down there, and they're always trying to like poach each other's shit, I guess. But it's like, what does that have to do with SeaQuest? There's also a part in this one, like in the very beginning, that the lady's like, she goes, "What the fuck is that? That's so low. There's nothing that can be that low except for SeaQuest." And I'm like, well then. Something can be that low. SeaQuest, what are you fucking talking about? Why are you shocked? Because she wasn't like, they're not supposed to be here. She was just like, and I was like, eh. But, yeah. I wonder what the other episodes are about.
Yeah. I'll check them out. I'll let you know if it's worth continuing.
Yeah. You just type no to me and I'm like...
No other context.
Yeah.
Just no. Should we move on to Flipper?
Hey, you want to do that one next?
Yeah.
Okay, let me scroll down here. Watch that one last.
So I'd never seen this before, and like, this came out in 1996.
Yes.
And like, I had no interest in seeing it then, because I was like into like Arnold movies, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch a kids movie.
You fucked up.
I did, but at this point in my life, I'm like, I'm all about this kind of stuff. It's fun, like 90s stuff, and they don't like any kids movies now are all animated, so they don't make.
He thought he was in for Another Boring Summer. Instead, he got The Adventure of a Lifetime. I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
Of a lifetime? Maybe.
I mean, like, if you can think about it, like, if you think about it, like, who, I'm pretty sure spending, like, any time with a fucking, like, sentient animal would probably be, like, the highlight of your life. Be like, holy shit. So.
Yeah.
For once, it's not a lie on the back of a fucking movie box. It's not like fucking that one shit on the front of like Family Man where it was just like a quote that said hilarious, and I was like, dude.
Not.
Kiss my ass.
What'd you think of Flipper? You'd seen it before, but not.
No, I had not seen it before.
Oh, yeah.
I bought the DVD years ago, and
because you're a big Hogan head.
Yeah, Paul Hogan. Let's clarify that. Big Paul Hogan fan. Crocodile Dundee films are legit.
I've only seen the first and the last.
I saw. Oh, really? Oh, jeez.
I know.
The second one's pretty. I mean, from what I remember, the two are pretty good. I remember seeing like Crocodile Dundee Goes to L.A. on Netflix years ago.
Dude, that came out when I was working at the movie theater.
Well, it's funny because the first two are pretty close together, and then the second, like,
they were in the 80s.
Third one is like 2000 or something. It's
99.
Like, But one of the other films I saw was like where he's like an angel or something, I think, or something. It's kind of a religious deal, but good stuff. But yeah,
and I would say he is what makes this movie worth watching.
I agree.
He's great in this.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that he was in a lot of stuff, but it was kind of a shame that he wasn't like in a fuck ton more stuff, even just as like small roles, even if it was just like a quirky character, because he's like a lot of character actors, he's great, even though I guess he's not a character actor, he's just doing his own voice.
I wonder, like, I'd like to see him in some different movies, because, like, he's really good at playing this kind of character.
Yeah.
But I don't know if what his range is, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, I don't know.
But he's, like, perfect in this movie. He's great.
I think every movie could have a character like this and be great.
As Porter Ricks.
Yes. Frodo arrives off the boat right off the bat. So we got Elijah Wood in this.
As he was about to pop off.
Yeah, just like Jim Varney. This is before he became Frodo Baggins.
Frodo Saggins.
Frodo of the Shire. The man who Gollum desires. The ring he will sire. Yeah, so he was in this film. I don't know.
He did fine as the generic kid
This
role.
was like before he like obviously he reinvented himself, him and Rudy in fucking Lord of the Rings, and like being kind of kid actors and stuff, and then being like, whoa, like this is like a huge deal. He just kind of plays
he did the job.
Untamable child that just
wants to go to that Chili Peppers concert.
Yeah. Yeah, he's out of control for the peppers.
Big pepperhead.
Yeah, pepperhead. So of course this is another film, not only that has like a dolphin in it, but there's another fucking animal that is like a sentient animal in this, a pelican that is like addicted to human food and shit. And alcohol.
He gives it beer and stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Paul Hogan is fucking dressing up like Duke Nukem in this. It's like... I was like... Oh.
Perfect Nukem.
He's like, kiss my ass.
He's like, Elijah Wood, you're the inspiration for birth control.
Pretty much. They had some Karate Kid Miyagi flute music at points in this, and I was just like...
Dude, the score kicked ass. Loved it.
They had Mike from Breaking Bad in this.
Jonathan
when he used to
Banks.
have hair.
Most dastardly villain ever.
Yeah, this guy's a fucking bastard because he's like polluting and he's also trying to like kill kids, and he kills like dolphins at one point.
Yeah.
They don't show it because this is like a fucking PG film, but like
he was totally.
This was pretty
going
fucked
over
up
the
for
top.
a kids movie because
Yeah.
there's also a part where a hammerhead like fucking like reams a fucking seagull. And I
Dude,
was
that
like,
hammerhead was
Jesus.
scary.
He's like, "Argh!" I was like, that's a real fucking shark eating a fucking bird. Christ.
Yeah.
In a fucking kids movie. I mean, this used to be. I mean, this was different back then, but.
Did you like how he was dumping toxic waste?
Yeah, that's
Old
what I was
90s
saying.
90s staple.
Fucking Terry Silver over here. That was like the worst thing you could do would be a bastard dumping toxic waste, and I'm like, dude, I bet that doesn't even scratch the surface of fucking the kind of shit that corporations get up to nowadays. Dumping that toxic waste.
Dude, I watched the Siskel and Ebert review of this, and
Oh,
Roger
Jesus.
Ebert was cracking up about how they labeled the tubs like hazardous waste,
Oh, yeah.
like in huge letters.
Dude, there was like a fuck ton underground or under the water too. I was like, oh. So how's he doing? Like pizza living upside down. He's all over the place. I was like, okay.
I thought it was funny how he only ate SpaghettiOs.
Because he bought like a fuck ton of them. And
Like
it
a
was
crate.
like, yeah, I was like, there's a plot in here where like Paul Hogan's got this longtime girlfriend and she wants to marry him. And he's like, fuck, get him out of here. I was like, Jesus. What'd you think about his Kramer antics? He was washing his fucking dishes with his feet while he was in the shower. I was like,
That was funny.
It was so. It was
The more
like.
we talk about this, I'm liking this movie more and more.
Did you not like it at first?
No, I thought it was
Oh,
totally
okay.
fine. Like
Yeah.
other than Hogan, I thought it was like totally generic.
Yeah.
But it had some good stuff in it, man. It was
Yeah.
entertaining for sure.
Loudest Game Boy of all time being played by Frodo Baggins.
I was like, dude, it's 1996. Upgrade to Game Gear.
Yeah, right. Good luck with
Downgrade.
that. I'd take out stocks and fucking batteries if I were you. Crocodile Dundee comes home and Frodo is gone. So they've got like they've got a love interest in this, and I think I looked up her IMDb and she was like the generic girlfriend, like Boy Meets World and like
I thought I recognized
Tool
her, but
Time, a couple
Maybe
other
that's what it
things,
was.
but she wasn't. Because I thought the same thing too. I was like, I could have sworn I've seen her in other stuff, but I think it was only a couple things. And I looked and like literally it was like 4 or 5 things, and it's like she quit acting. I hope that's what happened. She didn't like die or something. They've got a Karate Kid 2 Okinawa style storm.
Yep,
I was just like,
it's a good scene.
what'd you think about Flipper and Frodo butt play?
There was some butt play.
That like
Some
somehow,
good spanking.
yeah, he gets spanked into the water, and somehow when he comes out, he's not wearing a shirt. I was like, what? He hit him so hard that it like launched him out of his shirt. I don't know how the fuck that would work.
What did you think when the Duke of New York, Isaac Hayes?
Yeah. What do you mean the Duke of New York?
You're the Duke.
You mean Truck Turner?
Yeah. Good call.
Yeah. That was one you nominated. I'm pretty sure.
See our previous episode.
Girl playing with mouth harp. So that was a thing that was like a thing that happened in this film. Bang, 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 bang. I was like, huh? Guess that's just a thing when you don't got nothing to do on a fucking island.
Yeah.
The hammerhead's name is Scar. It stocks its waters near and far.
It's cool to see some Hammerhead action.
Yeah, I honestly can't think of a fucking film.
They're like an underrepresented shark.
Yeah, where a hammerhead is in it because they're so unique.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the thing I liked about these two is like, unlike you, I just enjoy watching the animal footage. Like, I think it's cool.
Well, then you'll love the next film.
That's for sure.
Yeah, they call hammerheads, but it's like it would probably be more apropos if they called them like mallet heads, because like a normal hammer has like a claw end on it, so it was a fuck up.
Submit that one to, I was gonna say NASA, but
maybe Nautical Association of Sea Assholes. Sea Animals? There we go. Nautical Association of Sea Animals. It's like, what?
They made an association.
Yeah. Yeah, call up, what's it called? Fucking zoos or something. You want to be a big man and smoke a cigar? When I smoke, you smoke. It's like, when I smoke, you smoke. Have you ever smoked a cigar rage style?
What a funny screen cap.
You need to do that sometime.
When I smoke, you smoke.
Yeah.
Just like that. When I smoke, you smoke.
You dip. We dip. Marv chilling with Flipper. He's open up. I'm like, okay. So yeah, they've got of course a kid that like doesn't talk, and he'll just do all his things, and then he
it's like the Millhouse of this movie,
right?
But through the power of dolphin love,
yeah,
he becomes a man.
Whoa. I said more badass dolphin torture, but I think I just meant more bad dolphin torture. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, kill this bitch. I thought this was pretty cool. This was a cool line in a kid's film. You got no right to do that. I ought to teach you a lesson. And Uncle Porter says, yeah, I'd like that. I have a thirst for knowledge. Teach me.
Dude, great.
I was like, Jesus. He says, school's out for the day, isn't it? Thought so. Maybe next time. I was like, this guy's a fucking badass.
That was badass.
Yeah.
That was great.
He's awesome. Like, I love him in every film I've ever seen him in. It's just, like I said, it's like, he's another person to add to the list. Like,
he's great at playing, like, a funny, lighthearted person who
can turn on the like, he's the person that, like, is lighthearted and is cool to, like, kids and everybody. But, like, if you, like, try to screw over the little guy, he's like, he'd be a perfect Robin Hood. An Australian Robin Hood. I mean, I guess we've had Kevin Costner as Robin Hood.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. Probably too late now, but
he bucked the Hollywood system once again.
Fucking Paul Hogan's still a family man after 50 Oscars, baby. It's like, you bucked the Hollywood system by making movies that were destined to be blockbusters. What a fucking rebel. And he had like $1 billion behind him. So I thought, it's kind of one of those deals too where, like, not only is he like this cool uncle, but he's also able to fucking secure front row Red Hot Chili Peppers tickets.
Like, cool.
Like, Jesus. There must be some money in this family just in general, because I was also thinking, like, early in the film, he had, like, these Red Hot Chili Peppers tickets, like, passes, essentially, that were, like, badass ones. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, so how the fuck did he get a hold of those as a kid? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then again, back then, maybe concert tickets weren't, like, $500 for, like, nosebleeds. Like, worst seats ever.
Dude, I totally forgot he was nominated for an Oscar for Crocodile Dundee for writing.
Yeah, that phrase kind of reminded me of like the Rocky situation. Yeah. Like he
cool.
wrote himself in to Hollywood and bucked the system.
To Oscar Gold that he didn't win.
Yeah, he bucked the alligator. He brings Pizza Hut, which is another sign of the times.
Oh yeah,
Good luck finding a fucking Pizza Hut, and if you do get it, don't eat it because the sauce somehow is like dry. They have to make...
Unless you want to eat a pizza that's been frozen for like 3 decades before they heat it up.
Dolphin Jello Shooters week. I was like... you were like... This is a line I didn't understand. Truck Turner says, I'm not interested in computer printouts. I want hard evidence. I'm like, isn't that the definition of proof? Is fucking, like, an actual, like, hard... Like, I was like, what? Flipper brings the Flippo cam underwater to where the toxic barrels are.
Is that when he meets his family of CGI dolphins?
Yes. And then he runs the hammerhead off. Elijah Wood says to Flipper, no, I can't come. And I thought, it sounds like a personal problem. Yeah, essentially, like, this film has, like, kind of a sad ending, but it doesn't, because, like, they're like, leave, you know, you have to go back to your family.
It's kind of Harry and the Hendersons.
But then he kind of fucking shows back up anyway, so it's like, Flipper, you fucking rule. It's like, okay. Which is not the case for maybe some other things. Yeah.
Cool.
Great film!
Great film.
Good.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
Entertaining, light.
Inoffensive.
Yeah.
Something that, as a kid, I probably would have watched like a billion times. It has all the hallmarks of a classic for a young boy growing up. You know, a animal friend, a cool parental figure, a girlfriend. I don't know.
Hurricane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut.
Mm-hmm.
Which randomly I was just remembering that, like, they tried to, like, bring back Pizza Hut in, like, the first Turtles movie we watched in theaters. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Splinter was, like, trying to fucking, like, tempt them with it, and I was like, yeah, I know that this is bullshit. I'll believe the Turtles, but, you know, and a rat that's sentient, but that fucking someone could find Pizza Hut in this day and age. So, that was my whole, thing about that.
It's time to move on to the main event.
True. Let me go back up to my notes here. Sorry. Don't talk until...
Day of the Dolphin.
Yeah, so,
This was an experiment in horror.
This movie starts off with, like, my favorite thing.
Me too.
A man talking to the camera for 10 hours.
From 1973, directed by Mike Nichols, director of Working Girl. See our previous episode. So, I'd never seen this movie before. I knew very little about it. And after watching it, I don't know that I would have picked it for the podcast. But it was weird.
Yeah, it was like a, it was like that one movie when I did, like, the Idol week, and one was legit, and the other one I was like, I probably wouldn't have picked this again. But, like in that situation, but I don't know.
They can't all be bangers.
So, imagine your life is spent in an environment of total physical sensation. That every one of your senses has been heightened to a level that in a human being might only be described as ecstatic.
I know you're goofing on it, but I loved this speech. I was like, whoa!
Like, it made, like, zero sense, but I was like, okay. That you're able to perceive every part of your being, sight, hearing, taste, smell, and every inch of your surface. Your skin is a receptor, a continuous source of perfectly accurate information about the world for miles around. Imagine that you're able to carry on simultaneous conversations with two members of your species. One right next to you and one several miles away. Listen to the language's intricate patterns of clicks, whistles, squeaks, and groans. Sounds subtle enough to convey complicated factual data, complex enough, perhaps, to deal with abstractions. What we would call ideas. His brain is as big as a man's. It possesses information about two worlds. The world of water in which he is born and feeds and reproduces and dies, and the world of air in which he breathes.
Is that Steven Seagal?
He has few natural enemies: the shark, barracuda, the fisherman who doesn't care what he catches, and certain clumsy scientists who believe that the easiest path to the animal's brain is made with a scalpel. As tragic and senseless as this kind of death can be, so is his birth a moment of inspiration. And that's why I thought I would close my report to you today with this piece of film, which shows our film dolphin, or our dolphin born in captivity. His tail comes out first. That's so hysterical. The hole in which the top of his head, where he breathes, can come out last. There we go. And then he rushes to the surface for air, and watch closely because this happens rather quickly. That was Alpha's birth. I was like...
And there were gasps.
His face, he's like...
Dude, when this speech happened and they cut with like the slow motion footage of the dolphin and then the slow motion footage of Paul Sorvino like
I was like, what?
with that ball, I was like, this is going to be the greatest movie ever made. And then that was my favorite part of the whole movie.
Nikolai Rashenko makes a fucking appearance in this.
Your boy.
Brother. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, fucking, you were great in that episode. And he's like, yeah, I don't know why they didn't bring me back. And I was like, well, can I get an autograph and a picture? Because I got nothing else to say. I don't know. I guess I just didn't have anything else to say. I mean, I never really watched him in anything else, so...
Could have had him sign your Day of the Dolphin poster.
That's true that I didn't own. I'm like, can you tattoo your name onto my fucking arm? Yeah. We got a thing where this is a smart dolphin, and he gets the shape that was shown up on a board out of the water. I was like, whoa, can't believe it. He did it.
They're
so
smart.
He's been trained from birth.
But Paul Sorvino tries to trick him.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
He's like...
This is a weird movie, man. What do you like? Do you have general thoughts, or did you hate it?
No, I didn't hate it. Overall, I thought it was rather boring.
Dude, nothing happens for like an hour.
Yeah, but like the last like 30 minutes is like pretty much the whole movie for me. Like that's where stuff actually starts to happen, because it's less of a movie, and for most of it's like 75% of the movie it's like a nature documentary essentially.
Yeah, it's like you're just hanging out with
watching
people,
like a Disney kind of deal where it's like, you know, nature's wonders, and you know, this guy is living with a dolphin and, you know, teaching it to speak human language, yeah. But then a plot kind of comes into play.
Yeah, I wish the tagline didn't spoil the whole plot of the movie.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
because it's supposed to be like a mystery, but it's not really interesting.
Once the tagline is given, it's like, oh, okay, well, something's gonna happen with this dolphin at some point.
Yeah, it's like baffling because, like, you're right, nothing happens for a long time.
Which is weird because you're just kind of waiting for that part to happen where
right.
like the plot comes in. And like I was watching it and I was like, when that part happens, I was just like, okay, like I was it explicitly stated those guys were like blow up the president of the United States, but they just showed him like a flag, so it was like the person writing the tagline inferred that that's what happened. Like, did he read the script? I guess. But it's not that the movie is without merit. It's just that it's a little like front heavy.
Yeah,
with that, which
I
is
think
shocking, like you said.
My takeaway is like, if you're like me and you like watching footage of dolphins doing stuff, that's cool.
Yeah.
And my other takeaway is George C. Scott is so fucking good. He can be
he's really
good in totally ludicrous scenes where he's talking to a fucking dolphin.
Yeah, I mean,
he makes it work.
He was in Exorcist 3. He's been in like a ton of stuff, and it's like he's like Michael Caine, where like he'll be in something that's overall the plot is like so
ridiculous,
stupid, but like since he plays it straight, you know, like Christopher Lee, then the his parts, you know, and he's able to bring some class to the film, and that's why, like, you know, you could be like, oh, Christopher Lee, George C. Scott, like Michael Caine are in like a bunch of shitty films, but it's like, but they're not shit in them, and it's like if they weren't in it, the films might have been complete trash, but like that's why so many of those films have those people. People don't understand they were given a fuck ton of money to step up and bring the sincerity and class and like acting chops that these films needed as an anchor.
Yeah, the scene at the end where he like is on his knees talking to the dolphin, like trying to convince it to go away, I was like blown away. It was amazing.
Yeah.
In a stupid movie.
Yeah.
But there's lots of stuff on the commentary and like interviews about he's very difficult to work with. Like, he's a total alcoholic, like lunatic out of his mind, but everyone just put up with his bullshit because you get a good performance.
Because he's good.
Yeah, it's worth it.
But
that's about all I can. That's about all I can say about this movie. Otherwise, it's just like really weird and not that satisfying.
It's a little disappointing, honestly, because like if this movie was like, I don't know, I don't really understand what was the point of this film, because like it's not like good enough to be like a fucking straight up documentary.
It includes no science.
Yeah.
Like the science is total nonsense.
And it's not long enough to like be a full movie if you literally just cut out all the documentary stuff and just have it be like a movie. So it's like, I almost wonder if this was like they had an idea, like, I mean, obviously they're basing it off the book, but I gotta think that like the book didn't have like a fuck ton of like shit like that.
No, the book was totally different, and I think the reason you feel that way about this movie, like I learned about it, it was like a job. The director and writer had no passion to do it. They were just like, we just need to make a movie, let's do this.
Yeah.
And even like during the making of it, they weren't that into it. So you can tell, like in the result.
Yeah.
So it's like total, like, hey, great, cool, thanks for not trying.
It's a fuck fest.
Yeah.
After an excited dolphin lashes out, is this man mad, happy, excited, or raging?
All of the
like
above.
I couldn't tell. George C. Scott treats Alpha as like his son, his little baby sass.
There's a scene where it's just him swimming with the dolphin and like hugging it and moving it around and stuff.
Yeah, it was just where he's just like,
I thought it was amazing, and I timed it. It went on for 2 minutes. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe too long. But I thought it was very cool.
Yeah, there's a part where they introduce another dolphin to like bribe him with a night of hot sex. But that was a fuck up because like he stopped talking English and started going native back to his home planet. But then they like took the dolphin away, like his girlfriend essentially, and like then he started talking English again. I was like, but to get to that point, I felt like it took forever to even get to that part. I was like,
and I thought it was utter nonsense that the dolphin went from like being able to make basic sounds to understand English and like full sentences and like understand logic and
yeah,
it's so stupid.
It was also kind of hard to watch where they were like separating them and like torturing them for that.
It was rough stuff.
Because all they wanted to do was have him speak English, and when he does, he gets the punani.
What do you think of when the dolphins actually? I can't believe the dolphins actually talked in this movie. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean it's always kind of like weird because what are the odds that like both of these when the dolphins talk they're like super high pitched? Like, couldn't they have a dolphin that was like
voiced by Isaac Hayes?
Like, yeah, or something cool. Not that it's not cool, but it's like, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, this is more realistic. I mean, dolphins screech and click and stuff like that. So, I guess if they were to like somehow mimic human speech, it would be higher like that. But like, I mean, you've already gone this far, like with fucking dolphins talking English. Not that I think it wouldn't be possible to like have a device that would maybe translate things, and I don't know, like science with that. But it's like, it's like why can't dogs speak English? Well, it's like fucking. Why can't I speak fucking Martian? I don't have the ability to.
Yeah.
Or...
I can.
What?
I choose not to.
Yeah. What? Alpha says he loves Dad and Pa and Dada. I was like, I love Pa. I love Dada.
I think it makes it sadder when they give it like a babified voice.
Yeah. Yeah, because like you said at the end, they essentially have to be like, it's like the flipper ending, but fucking sad because like they're like, leave us and don't ever fucking come back.
Yeah.
Or you'll be fucking killed. And I'm like, Jesus.
What do you think happened at the end? Because I wasn't quite sure.
You mean when they fucking flashbanged the camera for no reason? I was like, what is this? Why? They were just like, a fucking nuke came down? I was like, yeah, I don't know. I was just like, they just...
Were they going to be killed? Or like...
You mean like
'cause
they
convinced the dolphin to
Yeah.
swim away, and like the bad guys like landing in his plane
Yeah.
or whatever, and then they just run away and sit, and the movie ends. It's like, I guess they knew they were gonna be they were screwed.
I think what really happened was that the fucking directors gave up and just said, "Okay, this is how we're gonna end it. Let's just fucking white out the fucking picture, and that's the end." It's like,
Either way, it was depressing.
yeah. I mean, like the whole thing of losing the Dolphins and then getting them back only for you to have to tell them to leave or they'll be fucking killed is definitely not the feel good ending. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how many people actually went and saw this. Like, I don't know if I would have seen a trailer for this and would have been like, "Fuck yeah!" Like,
Yeah, and the commentary, the dudes they were old enough to like they saw it when it came out, and they were like, no one was really excited about this. It was kind of a failure, and it's perceived as like a bad movie, basically. Yeah. But they raved about it for the entire time, which I was like, dude, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like not one of those movies where I think it's bad because it's like it pissed me off. It was just kind of like even worse than that almost. It was like so boring for a long bunch of it that I was like,
yeah.
And then stuff did happen. I was like, well, this is kind of interesting, but then it's like, oh, there's like 20 minutes left in the fucking film.
Yeah, I mean, at best, I would say it's a curiosity.
Yeah.
But, like, I wouldn't recommend anyone running out to see this. Like, it's...
You're like, you're my obsession.
Definitely not. I was hoping
it Dolphin Week? Like is this your obsession?
A hidden gem, but it's not.
Just checking to see.
Yeah, I don't have much other thoughts. Oh!
They Lucio Fulci the fucking dude. Is that what you're going to talk about?
No.
They like Lucio Fulci.
Oh, yeah. Dude, good call.
Which, like, so I want to talk about that just for a second. So, he's, like, upside down and everything, and they, like, chained his neck to the floor, and his arms were pointing down, and I was like, if he was truly underwater, his arms would, like, bob up. They wouldn't, like, you wouldn't fucking drown and then be, like, straight up.
Unless he was very heavy-handed.
Fuck off.
You're like, goddamn.
I'm done.
He turned into a Blair Witch and his arms just
Well, like, I was thinking, like, the only way that would have worked is if they, like, killed him somewhere else and, like, rigor mortis set him, and then they somehow, or for whatever reason, chained him underwater. I was like, what? Because he was, like, drowning. Also, his tie is, like, fucking going straight down, too, so I was like, what? Anyway, go ahead.
When the Dolphins blow up the bad guys.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, that was probably the only good part of the film.
It was,
where,
I
like,
laughed out loud.
They send the fucking, like, one, if you're looking for this in the film, just go to 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 3 seconds. They send the fucking Dolphins off to go blow up this other ship, and then they, like, see the Dolphins swimming away, and they're like, the one trainer guy's like, oh shit. And then fucking, it shows the fucking boat they're on blow up.
That was great.
Also, like, right before that, one of the dudes looks like Greg Turkington on Cinema after speaking about Tim the whole episode. He's like, yeah. But 16 minutes left and the plot to kill the president is finally discovered.
Yeah, the plot started.
Yeah. The movie's finally started 20 minutes in. Paul Sorvino's good in this. I mean, he plays a character that you think is like trying to like screw them over, but he's actually undercover to like essentially like help them root out who is really like
the mole.
Yeah, the mole, and then end up being like one of their most beloved people. And I couldn't tell you what his fucking name was, but it was like Jeff or something like that.
Paul Sorvino?
No, the guy that was he was like, my name's Jeff. I was like, huh? Yeah. I think that was honestly. I'm trying to see if there was anything else. I think that
there were just a couple other funny notes from the interviews.
Yeah.
Buck Henry, the writer of this, he told a story like he pulled a Buster Keaton. Like, I don't believe this at all, but he was like, on the last day of filming with the Dolphins, we did 3 takes, and then we said, okay, that's the last take. and both dolphins jumped over the fence and swam out to sea, never to be seen again, because they knew that was their last take. I was like, dude, come on.
What? Bullshit. Also, like, dolphins like that are like, aren't they like trained?
Didn't they have trainers?
Captivity?
Or, like, they were just random dolphins that happened up made a movie? Like, come on.
That also were somehow able to know their fucking cues.
And then Trish Van Devere, who played his wife and was married to George C. Scott at the time.
She was good in this.
Yeah, I liked her too. She was good. She said that every day they would ride in like vans to the set, and because they lived on that island for a while when they filmed.
Yeah, to film it.
And she said Paul Sorvino would sing opera while they were in the vans.
That's awesome.
But then she was like, so I never wanted to be in the van with him because he was super annoying. Like,
Jesus.
I thought it was going to be, that was a fun thing.
Yeah.
She was like, I hated this.
She fucking went off on him. Damn. She's
so,
like, yeah, you fucking suck, Paul Sorvino.
Day of the Dolphin. Sorry it wasn't better.
Well, you know,
But,
you wrote it.
Yeah.
You fucked it.
I had high expectations, and they weren't
That's
met.
okay.
So I'm going to do...
It's your last experiment.
Flipper is a 7.95, and Day of the Dolphin's a 6.95.
One less.
It had, like I had some stuff I liked in it, like I said.
Yeah, the movie's like a 3 for me. It's just... the problem is that the movie was like 30 minutes long.
Especially if you hate dolphins and
well,
looking at
I mean,
them. Like,
if it
was a nightmare for you.
Well, the last 30 minutes, if I'm judging it on the last 30 minutes, it's a pretty solid movie. But the whole movie, you know, I got to give it like a 3 or something like that or whatever, because it's like 75% of the movie, nothing happens. It's like, Flipper, yeah, probably like a 7.95 because Paul Hogan rules.
Yeah.
Probably should give it a 10, honestly.
Dolphins drool.
He fucking kicks ass. I'm going to give a nod to Roy Schneider. He should have been in one of these films. I guess he was in SeaQuest, so that was a film.
Yeah. So what's on tap for next episode?
I'm like, Dolphin Week 2.
Flipper, the TV series.
Yeah, they've done that plenty of times. There's plenty of... I looked it up. There's like plenty of Flipper stuff, and there's like a lot of other stuff revolving Flipper, not just the original.
Cool. Well, I'll pick those next week.
Yeah, sweet. I can't wait. You pick them next week for me to watch on my picks. You're like, you're watching this or fucking dying. I'm like, ugh. So, next week, we're going to embark on a magical journey set in the 1990s. Do you know what this is? I didn't give you any clues.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So get out your wands. Does that help at all?
Harry Potter?
You're like, yes, Harry Potter week. You're like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, I don't know if you've ever seen any of these films. I know we've talked about them.
I've seen the first, maybe 3.
Okay. So, we're going to watch Sorcerer's Stone, the first one, and Chamber of Secrets.
Sorcerer's Stone?
And the second one. I wanted to do these. I was going to maybe do this another time, but I was like, you know what? This is like the perfect lead up to Christmas because like in both these films they have like some pretty good Christmas feeling because the first two
well, holy shit.
are written by or are directed by Chris Columbus, and he did like the Home Alone films.
Nice.
I think it was him.
Yeah, it was.
And he's got that down pat.
2 hours 30 minutes for the first one. 2
Sorry.
hours 40
Shit,
for the second
sorry.
one. Holy shit. You might beat, I think they'll beat the runtime. Pushing 3 hours.
But this first one specifically is what got me into like Harry Potter, and I like after because by the time I got into it, the first two were already on DVD, and then ever since then I like read the audio or listened to the audiobooks, and then saw the films. So
nice.
I was hooked, and I'm mainly interested to see if they hold up because you know at the time I was like blown away, like you know, but I haven't really rewatched any of them in like forever.
Back when the first one came out, I protested because it had magic in it.
Because Snape was in it. The Hall of Fame NBA.
You remember when everyone was protesting Harry Potter when it came out?
I feel like that was kind of something that happened quite a lot back when we were younger. Like, not only Harry Potter, but like, you know, a bunch of... Anytime there was something to do with like magic or like, you know, something that can be construed as like Pokemon, like Devil, you know, like they had all those religious people or like parents flipping out about it. It's like, I'm sure there'll be something else that'll happen. Something else will happen. So, like I said, hopefully these hold up and it's not something that you watch and you're like, I'm pissed.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Did you, you said you watched them like a long time ago, I guess?
Yeah, I probably rented them on tape.
Oh, okay.
So I think me and my roommate, because he was super into Harry Potter, rented them one weekend.
Well, hopefully they're still good. I remember the first one kind of maybe being a little shaky.
They're beloved.
The kids
films.
are so young that I think like some of the lines they give is like, ugh. But the first two have like my favorite Dumbledore actor in it.
So Richard Harris?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
He was way better than the other guy. Not the other guy's bad. Michael Gambon or whatever. He's a good actor, but we'll talk about that right now. No. Cool. So that's the end of Dolphin Week as we swim into Harry Potter Week.
Bye.
So whatever happened to that Dolphin dude? Man, that guy sucked as a podcaster.
Don't worry about him. I took care of it. How's your sandwich, by the way?
Oh, it's great. The tuna tastes even better than normal.
I used special tuna this time. It's not dolphin free.
That was great.
Yeah, nice.
To the edge of night, until the stars are all alight, mist and shadow, cloud and shade, all shall fade, all shall.
Man, it's why the fuck would I do that?
I'm like, jump scare.
What the fuck? I forgot about that. They say the one creature smarter than man is a dolphin. I'm like,
Is Dolphin.
why do I have to get a fucking creature? Buddy the dolphin! Yeah! Jesus Christ. I used
We're just sniffing up a...
Yeah.
It's not Dolphin.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll never tell.
Yeah, will you? Yeah! I'm like, can you believe this shit? He's fucking eating a dolphin. The whole thing's you. I'm like, let me not talk. Do I take the mask home to do that green screen stuff? Okay. You're like, no.
No, turn into a dolphin.
Do it!
Make obscene gestures for 15 straight minutes.
Yeah, it's like, eh.
All right, let's start the podcast. See if Buddy is as good as you say he is.
How about
Let's
that-
do this.
Let's do that again. Let me actually look at my shit. Like, look at it over here so I'm not like you're talking about.
Like totally natural.
Yeah. 9.95. Emotion is feeling so high. 9.95. In overdrive. Put your body in overdrive. 9.95.